Hey, it's Wednesday. How you guys doing today? I'm so excited, mainly because I'm in Puerto Rico. So I'll show you guys really quick before I start the show because why not? I'm out on a beach. Isn't it gorgeous? I didn't got suntan, y'all. So today I wanted to go back to travel because I'm in Puerto Rico. I've had experiences here that made me want to talk about how traveling has made my view of myself healthier. And that in general helps me to live a healthier lifestyle. It's been interesting. Like, I don't know, when I was a little girl and people talked about travel, he always talked about like going to Europe and like doing all these things that didn't really resonate with me. And so as I've started traveling, I have been able to travel how I travel. And for those of you who don't know, I actually have a travel company called Travel With Me Now. Look me up on Instagram. In my company, I am very big on traveling and having local experiences. And breaking that down, really meaning having Black experiences, because when I travel, I like to go see my brothers and sisters, and it's awesome. And so before I actually started traveling and started my company, I never associated traveling with going to see more Black people. It was always like tourist area things and like Becky's everywhere. And so I'm passionate about getting Black people to go travel and see other Black people where they're at, because that is awesome. And it's what I do when I'm home. You know, like there's this new movement of like buy Black, support Black, but it's like when we travel, all of a sudden we just throw it out the window. You know, we go stay in a Hilton hotel and we go like eat at chain restaurants. And really, everyone's searching for like a local experience. But if you're talking about what local is to a place, you have to start talking about the native people. And in my travel, what I have actually found is that all the native people are Black, okay? So it's like the story of every country that I go to, it helps me put together a better vision of me in my country, which helps me put a better vision of myself in my mind. And because of that, I'm able to live my life different, exude different things, and therefore I am
Oh, there she go. All right.
bad, guys. My bad. So, my bad. So, as I was saying, as I go to other countries and hear the story of their land and talk to their indigenous people, it gives me a better understanding of who I am in the land that we call America. So, I don't, if you guys follow me on Facebook, I had a Facebook earlier, story time of the Puerto Rican Becky. I met a Puerto Rican Becky, y'all, and she was very passionate about Puerto Rico. She's very Puerto Rican, and she was really cool. And she gave me a great um, view of the history of the land. Now, a lot of things she did and said, it lead me to why I call her Becky now. But it really helps me also not even like have a healthier view of who I am in the land that we call America, but also of other people. So I met a Puerto Rican Becky, and because she was cool, because she's Puerto Rican, I was able to talk to her and get into her mindset of how she views the world, how she views Puerto Rico, because she is Puerto Rican. So she told us the history of what happened, but how she views it is kind of skewed from the history. And so because I'm able to talk to her, now I can understand Becky's in our land a little better, if that makes any sense. Um, just to break down the story, she told us about the Tainos, who are the indigenous people of Puerto Rico. And she said some Caribs also were brought here. Um, I won't go into who these people are. Maybe you can research it. But anyway, so those were like the indigenous people of the land, but mostly the Tainos. And the Spanish people came and they basically colonized the place, which is why in the architecture you'll see Spanish things. In the food you'll see a lot of Spanish things. But the indigenous people are still the Tainos. And when you go and you look at the Tainos here, the indigenous people of Puerto Rico, they look just like us. Like they look just like us. And Becky was trying to tell us that, oh, no, 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 which Becky looks like a Becky, right? Like she's fairer skin. She doesn't have straight hair, but she has like, like Caucasian hair, but it's curly. And she was trying to tell us that she was a Taino. And it's like, no, that's not what Tainos look like. But it's the same thing like in the land that we call America, how they try to make it seem like, oh, Jesus was white. Like Jesus was like what would be a Taino in Puerto Rico. That's what Jesus was to like his land. But he was black. He looked black. So every time I travel and I start hearing about these indigenous people of the land, they all look like me. And it helps me to go back home and be like, oh, there's a story of this land that's missing. And it helps me know that there's an indigenous people in America and they're trying to hide who they are. So that helps me understand that a lot of how I've lived life, a lot of how I view my family, me, is different because I don't feel indigenous to the land of which we call America. So traveling has really brought a healthier point of view of who I am because I get to hear the stories all around when I travel and they're all the same. It's the same thing that happens. You have the indigenous people of the land and you also have like Caribs, which were Indians, but you also have Africans who came over as slaves. And so they mesh into a people. Like we're meshed. And when we start talking about like who we are, we feel more connected to the land. We're able to draw the energy of the land and who we are more. And in general, it makes you have a healthier relationship. Another thing that when I travel, I find that when I travel all the time, the people, they mess with me. Like they take care of me. They're so nice. Like when I go and buy fruit, I have yo español muy poquito, like muy poquito, okay? Like muy poquito. But when I go buy fruit from the man who's indigenous, he's Taino, he's of the land in Puerto Rico, he takes his time to make sure that I understand what he's saying to me because I'm trying. So I feel like I'm just so loved and supported through my travel, even though I don't know Espanol. My brothers and my sisters, they help me. They always take care of me. I'm able to ask questions and they answer them. And so in general, when I've gone away from home, I feel so loved and supported. Like everyone helps me. Different from what the narrative of our land in America is. We're all taught like, oh, black people are this, black people are this, like black on black crime, like it's all negative narrative around my brothers and my sisters. And typically in America, in my experience, I can't say about y'all's because it might be different, but in my experience, before I shifted my mindset, it was I had to be inside of my community to be treated good, and I can't trust anybody else. I can't even trust my family to do business with them. Traveling, that myth is debunked. Okay, like I've never felt so loved, I've never felt so much of a sense of community, so helped, so looked after. When I travel and see the natives of the land, they treat me like a native. Now, that does not come with all being peachy and clean, you know what I'm saying? Because you're still not, you're still in a foreign land, but you get treated different than the Granco. You don't get treated like a Granco. You get treated like one of them because you are. You're like, wherever we are, we're native to the land. And so it's just such an important lesson that I've gotten from my travel of to be a native, to act like it, to know that everywhere I go, there's people just like me and they treat me like I'm family because we're distant relatives. Like literally everywhere you go, you have a distant cousin to that land and they treat you like that. Like they'll let you come into their house and they'll cook for you. They'll be like, let me take you to every spot that we love. Like they want to show you Like they're just waiting to see someone like you. And so I feel it's made me feel so beautiful. Not only when I leave, but when I come back home, it makes me feel different. It makes me feel like when I see my brothers and sisters in the street, that they're my brothers and that's my sisters. Like when I do business, I want to do business with family. Because that's another thing. When I travel, everyone is family oriented. Like everyone, there's nothing outside of family. And like their friends and their circle, that's family. So they do business in their family, they live in their family, they share with their family. And when they let you in and your family, that's it. Like you're good. There are places I can go on islands and all I have to be like is, yo, David helped me out the other day. What's up? And they be like, oh shit, you David's friend? We need to help her, y'all. She family. It's real. And I feel like there's been like this Eurocentric, I can't even say it, this Eurocentric mindset of separation of business and family, or life and family, or family and money. Like we just separate family, and it's so important to understand that we are family, and that's what helps us thrive. If you want to do good and succeed, and like everybody thrives, we do it with us in our community, like the natives. So in general, not do you get to just enjoy um, foreign lands and see people who are like you, but you also get a healthier mindset of living. When I live and I understand that I have community everywhere I go, it opens up my world to be more successful, to be more everything. Like my energy is bigger, it's open. So that's like, it's been really beautiful to experience it. Um, Going back to Becky, that's been important for me too. For me to learn who I am and the stories that have been hidden from me, because that's the one difference that I will say, and that now I have more of, it's imperative for me to learn about my lineage. And I don't know how strong I was feeling about that until I started traveling, because they know their stories, y'all. They know their stories. Um, I was in Grenada and people spoke to me about Grenada being a Creole island, and government came in, and in 1 or 2 generations they cut that shit. Like they are not Creole anymore. No one speaks the language. Like it's they wiped it out. But they can still tell you what happened. They know their story. And so it's been more important to me and heavier on my heart to understand that I need to know the story of my land, where I come from. Um, and so when I started learning that I was lied to, because we're lied to, this is what I'm drinking. Madela. No, Madaia light. This is the popular beer here in Puerto Rico. Beer when you travel is so much better. Like ours in the States, it makes you all like bloaty and stuff. And this is just like, you just drink it. I don't know. It tastes good. What was I saying? Oh, so when I found out that where we come from, we've basically been lied to with our story. So here, Becky's are like, I don't want to say more tolerable, but they're just different. So I can hang around them and get their mindset. I touched on this earlier. And I feel a lot more open to hear where they're coming from. Yeah, hear where they're coming from. Because honestly, in America, I give two flying fucks. I don't care. I just don't. It's, say I'm emotional, maybe like I'm angry, but it's a lot to go through the experience of being in a country where people don't acknowledge shit, and it sucks. Like it's like the country was built off the backs of us, our ancestors, and we're like everyone's like, oh, just get over it. You know what I'm saying? So I found that I'm a little bit more open when I go to another land and talk to them, but it really opens my mind. I met a Becky. She was awesome, actually. She took us around. She told us history. She was awesome, but she was very comfortable, and so she talked to me about things where I don't think I would have been as tolerant of them if I was back home. But she straight said to me, she thought that black women could not grow hair. She was just like, I don't understand why your locks are so long. Like, I thought black women couldn't grow hair. And I was like, what? Who told you that? She says a black woman told her that. I don't know. But I did have to explain to her that sometimes, you know, like my hair couldn't grow. So there are different circumstances. You have a lot of things going on. You have natural women who have short hair. You have natural women who have shorter hair. Like it's, you know, you have sometimes you have relaxers and people's hair don't grow from relaxers. Sometimes people have relaxers and they have really long hair. Like there's both sides of it, you know. But I did share with her my story that when I had a relaxer, my hair would not grow past here. It just wouldn't. But sharing my story as well, I put a relaxer in my hair when I was a child at 1 year old. I don't know what I was thinking, y'all, but apparently I was going in and I was supposed to have a nap and there was relaxer on the table and I was like, yo, I see my mama put relaxer in my sister's hair, so this is what we doing. And my mom said that I did it right and I didn't burn my scalp, but she kept it in there. So I didn't really see my natural hair until I was like 18 years old, maybe 18 or 19. So ergo now I'm like in my 30s and I'm like, I'm wearing this stuff how it comes out my head because it's been so long. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know what my hair looked like. I thought that I had really thin hair. I thought my hair was darker than it is. Like I have like some sandiness going on. My hair gets blonde at the tips. I didn't know that. I didn't know what it looked like. So that's why I wear my hair how I wear it now. And yeah, so Becky said that. And instead of getting mad and be like, how could you not think that? Which I feel like if I was back at home and someone came at me, like honestly, I would feel some kind of way about it. Like I just told her my experience and she learned from it. She learned something about black people. And that's cool because at the end of the day, what it teaches me is that just as much as I don't necessarily know the story of our native land, they don't know about us. Like, they're not around us. They don't know us. It's like and I hate to say it, there's like a class of black people who get super educated and now they have Eurocentric thinking. So if they come across a Becky who thinks something and she mentions that, they're not even necessarily giving a well-rounded view because if you have Eurocentric thinking, you just think about things different. I'm not saying it's bad or good. It is what it is. It's just different. So she learned from that experience and she loved that she learned from the experience. She lied to us about who she was, but it's cool, you know, and that, you know, she tried to tell us she was one of us, but it was clear that she wasn't. It became very apparent when she tried to dance. That was funny. But she told us the truth. She was very honest about who she was. And I really appreciated being able to talk to her in that space. So sometimes I don't know, I hate to say it, but sometimes when I travel, I feel safer to like be in those spaces with them. It feels safer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to learn on a compassionate side because now, you know, I am more compassionate about maybe if someone were to do something like touch my hair, I'd be more compassionate because I know they might just not know. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they do, because I'm still just like last night. I told her, like, you're Spanish. Like, I'm very forthcoming about what I think in these conversations, but I don't know. When I travel, it's more open. Um, and really, what it is the people who conquer a land, they feel some kind of way about what they did. Like, Becky knew what her people did to this land, and she felt some kind of way. It was heavily the reason why she took us around the island, and she didn't charge us. She was like amazing. She got us things that we needed, but she feels a guilt because she knows what her people did here. But because of that history, it's easier for her to do that with me from America than with a Taino from Puerto Rico. It just is what it is. It's easier. And so the same thing that feeling is, I feel that in America. It's harder for a Becky in America to openly talk to me and open up. But if someone who looks like me from a foreign land comes, she would open up a little more. She's like, "Oh, you're lost. Let me help you." It feels better. It feels better for them. And in turn, like, we feel that. It's not something, like, I talk about a lot, but I experience it. And in general, I feel like in relationships, we have to be more healthier in our thinking. And experiencing something like this, it makes me healthier. It makes me process things so much better. Um, I'm not so angry. Like, fear and anger are a weird spot to be in. It'll have you thinking different, moving different. Like, you don't even move right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm like angry at someone, they can like be giving me a gift. Like, Becky gave me a gift. She took me around to a place I would have never known about. We went and grabbed some beers at like a local spot, and I had like a nice like little interaction with the local. She told us so much history. We got to go in like a city center. Like, it was a really nice day. But if I was angry, if I was mad, I would have never let her take me. I would have been like, "You guessing?" you know? So when we're able to take out anger and fear, we're going to have a healthier process in life. And my process is healthier because I travel. When I'm able to connect to the natives, I hate to say black, but it's like the black people. We're natives, and in all of the lands that have been conquered, the natives have had to mix in order to survive. So, like, yes, we definitely have strong African roots, but we also have strong native roots. And that's what makes us like these black native people that we are. And in every land you travel to, the story is the same. How they got there is different. Like, what war was fought, what white people came, was it the French, was it the Spanish, what culture was there, like, did they build pyramids, or like, all of that's different, but it boils down to the same thing. And when you're able to start tapping into that, I think we have a better and a healthier relationship with community, because at the end of the day, especially with something that's going on like what we're going through right now as a people, it's very interesting. I don't want to get into politics, but like, I personally think this whole Black Lives Matter with white people, people of color situation is crazy. But we are uniting with it. And so the energy that we're getting from the unity that we feel now is so imperative. So imperative. We have to start thinking healthier about us. And that's going to help us think healthier about one another. And that's the fiber that brings us together. And so you don't have to go far. I talked about that. When you travel to Mississippi and you start going and talking to those black people, you'll see that our stories are all intertwined. We have community, we have love, we have unity all around the world. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever felt in my life. Everywhere I go, I feel connected to the people, to the land. And when I take that back home, it makes me, I just feel loved. And so the way I maneuver through life now is so different, so much more healthier. I love all the beautiful Black people everywhere. I love them so much. I trust them. They have shown me that wherever I go, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make it. I feel strong. And so we have to start feeling these feelings, not only with our community, but first within ourselves. And when you go and travel, and I mean, things come up in life. It's the same thing when we live our lives and things come up and we make it. The difference is that when you do it and you're at home, you're in the mundane process of your everyday life. The kids got to be checked on. You got to do laundry. Your boo might be, needing to go get a haircut. You got to do all this shit, right? So when you travel, even if it's just outside of your city, you're able to let go of your life for just a minute. Like, just take a break from that shit. Like, who cares if you don't water the plants for 5 days? Who cares if the laundry is not folded? You don't see it, so you don't even care. So you're able to let go of that, which we have to understand that the way we live in America, the mundane process of everyday life, is so European centered. It's not natural to who we are. Excuse me. You can drink beer at 420 near water and shit. Who cares about laundry? Or like, if you eat, sometimes it's so hard for me to fast when I'm at home. And sometimes I just don't eat when I'm away. It's just food. I'm like, whatever. Like, your mind relaxes and you're able to take in community. You're able to take in love. You're able to take in all these things that almost become a distraction in our everyday life. So I'm not saying you got to go far, but just go. Like, let go of shit and just go. And I promise you, the way you think about yourself and life, like, it just clicks. It just clicks. I can't even write a book because I don't even know how to explain this shit. But that's what has happened for me in my travel. And I am so grateful. I'm forever grateful for it, to be able to connect with my brothers and sisters, for them to be able to share their stories with me, for me to be able to share my stories with them. Because in every land you go to, the people of the land have a very unique story. That's what separates us as a people, right? Like, my grandmother has 12 brothers and sisters. It's 13 of them. 13. Y'all, it's so many people in my family. It's crazy. 13 people here, right? That generation up under them, some of them got 12 kids. Some of them got 2. Some of them got 5, 6. It's a bunch of us. But understand that every 13 is a tribe. You got the tribe of Martha. You got the tribe of Jerry. You got the tribe of Mary. You got the tribe of James. Every one of my aunts and uncles, they have tribes. Each of them have like 4 kids here, 5 kids here, 12 kids here. And every tribe then breaks down into another tribe. And so me and my cousins, we're first cousins, but they from like tribe 6 and I'm like tribe 3. Like, I'm up here, okay? But we're all family. It's beautiful. And every time we come together, y'all already know what you feel like at a family reunion. You be like, hey, cousin, hey, what you been doing? And maybe them cousins down there have been Muslims, so they don't eat pork, but y'all still make sure they eat at the family reunion. Maybe the cousins over there don't drink, but your auntie was ratchet, so they play dominoes and they could be getting fucked up the whole family reunion. But no one cares. It's a time to like free up and just be around the family. That's what it's like when you travel. You just hook up with your folks and you share your story because it's your story. Even though you're a cousin and you're over in this tribe, you have to understand that tribe 2 and tribe 12, y'all family, y'all still come from that same tree. So like, we need to learn our story. So travel has done that for me. I just wanted to share that because I've had such a beautiful experience in Puerto Rico, linking up with the fam. And I do this everywhere I go, every island I touch, every place where there's indigenous people I go. It's the same thing. So this is my inspiration on a Wellness Wednesday to get your ass out of wherever you are and go see some of your folks. Go feel the love, go feel the unity, go feel the community. Go feel it. It's your birthright literally to hook up with your family. So you got to feel this stuff, y'all. So thanks for allowing me to be on my travel tip again, because I know I said this to y'all a couple weeks ago, but it is what it is. So that's all I got, and I'm gonna let you see the beach. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I will see you not the same time, not the same place next week, but definitely the same time. Love y'all.